you're from any of the Western countries, living through the worst cost of living crisis and wondering to yourself, when can I afford to live a normal life? Then this video is for you. Because here in the most expensive country of Australia, everything is way worse. As right now, the country is going through the worst cost of living crisis where everything goes up and up except your wages. And everyone I know literally wants to leave. But have you ever heard of the phrase less is more? Because in this video, I'm about to show you what can you still get with $2,000 a month in Australia. Exactly what it costs to have a simple, slow living life. We'll also show you some even cheaper options if you're on a smaller budget.
But everything starts with having a simple apartment to live in.
But this was when all of you, including my Australian friends living in big cities, seriously doubt it's even possible to survive with that kind of money. As Australia is now one of the most expensive countries to live, especially after the disaster that is the housing crisis. As a quick Google search will show you that over the past 20 years, wages in Australia have increased by over 80%, but the home prices have grown over 190%. Assuming the data was accurate, that is literally growing more than 2 times faster than the wages. And it didn't get easier when you check another recent report. The average housing can be as crazy as 16 times more than the household income per capita, meaning that even if you live on nothing and save money like crazy, it would still take you decades to possibly still not be able to buy yourself a home like your parents' generation did in the 80s. So I'm not kidding when I say that booking and waiting for the best apartment that somehow fit our budget literally took months of planning. And I ended up finding not one, but 2 of them slightly away from the center of a beautiful city called Perth, but nothing a little bus ride can't fix. And the first thing that surprised me right away was how beautiful both of the swimming pools were. As just because we're living simple life doesn't mean we can't have the best and a little bit of affordable luxury here and there. And my first apartment even got an elevator that was surprisingly big and modern. But nothing is as important as the actual room we're checking out right now.
Let's see what we have here.
And for our main apartment, I picked a 1-bedroom for up to 4 people based on their website, which I assume would be perfect for families with little ones. And for the other apartment, for comparison, I picked one of the best studio apartments they had, where on the one hand, it's only big enough for 2 people, but they had a lot of baby furniture, so I guess babies are welcome too.
And it's one of those furnished apartments, which is always good to have. The kitchen already has everything.
And that includes everything you need to cook for yourself to save money, which may or may not even be necessary based on how insanely cheap we managed to keep the food prices down later in the video. But what truly shocked me was that in both apartments, a whole city away from one another, and managed to find the same bill given to me, which was insane coincidence. And also all the coffee you need.
I guess if you have a coffee addiction, Australia got you covered.
And that's where they're welcome because you guys make the best coffee ever. Also, both apartments gave me a wine glass, even though I don't know who can afford to drink wine nowadays. But what's even better to have was air conditioning, and in one of the apartments, I even got 2 of them.
I thought the weather's always good that you only air conditioning in Australia.
But I've never been here during summer, so maybe it gets crazy hot or something. You can tell me in the comments. But apart from the double ACs, there are also double kitchen sinks, and even though the apartment had free milk, there wasn't any water. And yes, you can buy them at the supermarket for under $1. That's still money you want to save. There's also free water machines outside. I love the city already, but you still need to go out for that, so that leaves us with only one option.
I thought the water was supposed to be drinkable until I came across this comment saying, what makes you think a major city in Australia is going to have drinkable water? Well, just what I needed to hear.
I hope that's only sarcasm or something. But what you don't need to be sarcastic for was a massive sofa, even more comfortable than sleeping on a real bed, as well as the huge TVs in both apartments.
But who needs a TV when you're trying to live a slow and simple life?
Well, everyone has phones anyway, even though it's breaking our brains faster than TV. But deeper into the apartment, I was genuinely shocked by how most apartments in Australia seem to have queen beds instead of king size. As coming over here from America, I was pretty used to king size beds being the standard for all apartments. But I got some of the best sleep during my time here, and one apartment even gave me towels.
Also, a bonus point, the floor and the carpet are both super clean, because in Australia, many people don't wear their shoes inside their houses or apartments.
Oh, I also wasn't expecting that before coming here. As the first hotel I visited, I was so surprised to see people leaving their shoes outside of their room, which I learned to do the same later. But also, most local people take out the rubbish themselves, even though they're staying inside hotels or service apartments, as well as thanking the bus drivers before leaving the bus. Come to think of it, I literally just arrived here and already have nothing but praise for my fellow Australians. Also, you might notice the lack of bathtubs here, since my Australian friends told me that the country used to be having some of the worst droughts in history, so bathing was seen as a waste of water. Also, since some cities are too hot, sitting in warm water might not sound like a good idea.
I always like those houses where the bathroom is literally right next to a bed. In California, I need to open 2 doors to get to the bathroom. That's too many doors.
But I totally love the 1-bedroom more than the studio room, since you now have a separate room room for sleeping and doing yoga. But the balcony was when the store finally settled. Since one of them, I got the view of the beautiful swimming pool, while with the other, I was only facing the parking lot. Also, when it was too windy, since I was directly next to a fast food restaurant, sometimes trash would be blown into my balcony. So the monthly rents were the same. I think I like this one better, which turns out to be the case, as they both cost me about $825 a week, which is about the medium house rent in Australia last time I checked. And since I didn't book in advance, I probably could have saved another $50 per week. And not to mention the free parking, which is a crazy lifesaver, since Australia has one of the highest parking costs literally in the world, right next to places like Switzerland and Hong Kong. But since the studio apartment was only big enough for couples, while for the one bedroom, the website says up to 4 people can stay there. So if you were to have roommates or family members, it's quite easy to lower your rent to about $220 to $400 a week per person at the time of writing. But if you want to save even more money, it's possible to find hotels costing about $70 or $80 a night, or $550 a week for 2 people. And one of them even gave me free cereal for my breakfast, and a room just for watching TV and making friends.
So, with the majority of the budget already gone, with nothing but tap water to drink, actually tasted pretty good. I don't know how we're going to feed ourselves for the next month.
Because the next step is to find the most delicious and affordable food in the city. Since Australia is known for having the best food in the southern hemisphere, if not in the entire world, with recent data saying that on average, Australians are spending about 30% of their income on eating, drinking out, or buying food delivered. So I'm sure there's nothing to worry about. It's not like going to restaurants is literally going to cost you your life savings. Wait a second, the KFC burger combo costs about $10, a can of beer was $8.50, and the Japanese ramen, which is usually the cheapest food out there, costs $12 to buy, and the price already went up 15% in just a few years. We need a plan B. But even the crazy recession that feels like the price of everything keeps going up each time you check, it's still possible to save money by eating out less and planning out what and where to buy. As I was checking out all the big supermarkets in the town, I managed to find a $5 frozen pizza, which was big enough to be breakfast and lunch, and coffee also about $5, so you don't have to wake up like zombies. A huge box of chocolate croissant costing only a little over $2, which took me over 3 days just to finish it. And McDonald's is mostly a bit cheaper than KFC if you can't live without fast food, and the price was pretty much the same as in America. You can even find the grimace shake for $4.50, which is like a purple milkshake with blueberry and stuff. I don't know why I didn't get the fancy cup though. Maybe you need to pay extra for that. And even though ramen was kinda pricey in Australia, the sushi wasn't, as I found these sushi rolls at local supermarket for only $3.60, and it's possible to get something better for $5 or so. Subway in Australia is going through some crazy inflation, as the 6-inch now costs as much as a foot long used to be, but it's still way cheaper than many of the Western countries, and here they give you a lot more vegetables. So I find it a good option where you don't want to make sandwiches for yourself, as the foot-long vegetarian Subway now costs about $8.40, until Quokka came out of nowhere trying to eat it. Just go get your own Subway. I saw the sign, okay? We're not supposed to feed you or even pet you. But the one thing you don't have to go without is the fish and chip, as even this fancy restaurant facing the beautiful Elizabeth Key, it only cost me about $80, and it was massive. You could probably eat it for 2 meals.
So I'm not trying to start and air that debate, but my fellow Australians make the best fish and chip I've ever had. Now give me a second to turn on my comments before the British come.
Other affordable food includes Vietnamese bread for $7.20, the vegetable biryani at my local shopping mall for $7.80, and this slurpee that you can find in the convenience store for only 64 cents, almost as cheap as water. So on my time here, I found it quite possible to keep my average cost of groceries and food each week below $100, even $90 sometimes, while occasionally eating out with friends. But life is more than eating and sleeping. So next, we're going to find out how to have the most fun out of the remaining budget we still had, and the biggest money-saving hack came in the form of free transportation, because bus, train, and ferry trips in Australia can sometimes be free, as the city is divided into zones, and apparently traveling within the same zone is free. So my friends here will often plan out their trips on the map to save a few dollars each day. Also, some buses are always free, so if it's your first time here, check on the website of your local transport services.
I still can't believe some of those buses are free.
But still, I ended up spending about $18 a week on public transport, which was about half of the national average, but it's possible to save money by walking or biking, which I have to give credit to how walkable the whole city is. But traveling for vacation wouldn't be that cheap, since a round trip to Rottnest Island, the most beautiful island in Western Australia, but sadly I came out rainy day, cost me about $55, but that was for foreigners. So if you live here, you could probably get a nice discount. The art gallery was free to visit, but the zoo cost money for about $25 for those. But discounts are available if you meet any of those criteria. And I guess you can see this monkey that looks like a grandpa. hub.
But remember, just like everything in Australia, the zoo closes at 5 p.m. every day, so you better hurry.
What's also quite affordable to do was going to prison. This sounded so weird when I said it, but fear not, since Fremantle Prison is now a famous tourist attraction in Western Australia, where you can pay about $15 to enter. Learn all the prison history with a guided tour, and they even have a hotel that's pretty cheap if you want to live in the prison. Are you crazy? Australia is also one of the most expensive countries to watch a movie, as my local theater costs $11 to watch a film without a discount, which was already cheapest when compared to theaters in other cities. But no movies can compare to how beautiful Australia is, whether you're in a big city, a small town, next to a white sand beach, or even just being inside your local park.
Just walking out there is like watching 4K video of the best view in the world. Not to mention they have bike lanes and sidewalks almost anywhere. It feels like living in the future.
Overall, I don't think any of those outside modern fun and entertainment were even necessary if you're trying to have a simple life of spending less and living more. Especially in Australia, where people are so friendly and kind, I often found myself having a random 1-hour conversation with people I just met all the time. And who knows, maybe in this day and age of crazy inflation crisis, where nobody can afford to live a normal life, it's also the best time to realize that the last and most important thing we still have is one another treated with love and respect. And maybe that's the true meaning of having a simple life.
So now we're back at the apartment. What do you think about our simple life in Australia so far? As inflation goes out of control, and the terrible job market where most of the job postings you see are not even real, how is that even legal? How is posting fake jobs to collect your personal data even legal? And don't get me started on the housing crisis, as the average house price in Australia has recently hit and gone above $1 million. Not even for a big city, but even for small towns across the country. And the only solution is for the politicians to finally do something. I guess we're all doomed until we start to cut expenses left and right, and maybe start to live a simple, easier life by spending less and living more.
But my favorite things about Australia were totally all the cute animals, the random sign telling me to be a better friend, and even though the country is going through a recession, everyone still loves and respects one another, as well as always thanking the bus driver. But now, we're seeing how the cost of living from the cheapest country of Malaysia compares to the most expensive country of America, and you can click on the video right now.